Wyatt and his wife Belle had always been two of the most notorious outlaws in the Wild Wild West. They were known for their daring bank robberies, stagecoach holdups, and gunfights with law enforcement. They were feared and respected by all who knew of them, and their names struck terror into the hearts of those who crossed their paths. Wyatt, with his rugged good looks and quick draw, was the leader of their outlaw gang. Belle, on the other hand, was a beautiful and cunning accomplice, always ready to help plan their next heist or cover their escape. Together, they were a force to be reckoned with. But behind their tough exterior, Wyatt and Belle were deeply in love. They had met when they were both just teenagers, and from the moment they laid eyes on each other, they knew they were meant to be together. They ran away from their small town to the Wild West, where they could live freely and without the constraints of society. As the years went on, their love only grew stronger, and so did their reputation as outlaws. With each successful robbery, they became more daring and gained more followers. But all of their success also meant that the law was hot on their trail. Wanted posters with their faces and names were plastered all over the West, and the reward for their capture grew larger and larger. But nothing could stop the love and determination of Wyatt and Belle. They were a team, and they would do anything to protect each other. They had a secret hideout deep in the mountains, where they would go to plan their next moves and lay low when the law got too close. One day, as they were riding through the dusty streets of a small town, they saw a group of lawmen coming towards them. Wyatt and Belle knew they had to act fast, so they quickly rode into an alley and pulled out their guns. The lawmen were no match for their speed and accuracy, and within minutes, they were lying on the ground, defeated. But just as they were about to ride off, Belle heard a voice coming from behind them. "Well, well, well. If it isn't the infamous Wyatt and Belle Maverick," the voice said. Wyatt and Belle turned around to see a tall man dressed in a black suit and a shiny badge on his chest. It was the sheriff of the town, and he had a whole posse of deputies with him. "We finally caught up to you," the sheriff continued. "Your days of terrorizing this town are over." Wyatt and Belle looked at each other and shared a knowing look. They weren't going down without a fight. In a split second, they both drew their guns and started shooting at the lawmen. A fierce gun battle ensued, and for a moment, it seemed like Wyatt and Belle would be able to escape once again. But the sheriff was a skilled marksman, and he was able to shoot Wyatt in the arm, causing him to drop his gun. Belle could see that her husband was in danger, and she knew she had to save him. With tears in her eyes, she rode towards the sheriff with her gun pointed at him. But before she could fire, she heard a deafening gunshot. Wyatt had managed to pick up his gun with his good arm and shoot the sheriff before he could harm Belle. But the damage was done, Wyatt was badly injured, and they were both surrounded by lawmen. As they were taken away, Belle held onto Wyatt's hand tightly. They were both sent to prison, but they didn't mind. As long as they were together, they could face anything. Years later, when they were both older and had served their time, they were released from prison. They were no longer the young outlaws they once were, but their love for each other had only grown stronger. They settled down in a small town, where they were finally able to live a peaceful life. They were no longer lawless outlaws, but to each other, they would always be Wyatt and Belle Maverick, the most notorious and feared couple in the Wild Wild West.